Recording in progress. We're in progress. So this is week 3, which is our last day that we're actually meeting as a group. Oh, yes, your bathrobe is all nice and comfy looking. So with what we're
That's what
doing,
that is.
so with what we're doing for today is we are just talking about like where you are, your experience, your struggles, any questions that you may have, along with the wins. So, and there's no win that is not too small to be recognized because it's just going to be there to get you one step further to where you want to be. So, I'm going to leave it at that and I'm going to let y'all jump in.
You went on mute. Nobody heard what you said, girl. You hit the button too fast.
Oh, I said, I'm going to let y'all jump in. Go ahead and, let me know what your wins are, questions, concerns, all of that.
So I noticed that I think one of the most difficult things that I had was just remembering to fill out the form. I filled out the form most of the time. And when I remembered, I would just go back to the day and complete the form. So I still have today that I have to fill out, but the form it holds me accountable to what I'm thinking and feeling every day, and making me like, okay, be like, all right, what am I going to focus my intentions on today? Or make me, think about what was the most amazing thing that happened that day. And some things that, it was the same thing because, it just gave me a lot of happiness, but just making sure that I filled it out, I think that was one of the most difficult things. And then there was the times, I probably had slipped a couple days. But, I just kept moving. It's like, all right, on to the next. That was that.
All right, well, those are some good wins. So you just did a few things in there, which is amazing. So the thing is that one, you've identified that you're not going to be perfect. So whatever you have in your rendition, because we actually experience life and we have things going on day to day, week to week, however it is actually working for us, we end up making adjustments. So I'm glad you found that the tracker is beneficial because when you actually use it, whether you're using the handout that I gave you or if you are writing it down in a journal, it's going to help you have some sort of point of reference and a reflection to see exactly like where you are. Because what you're doing is you're building a new habit. And this habit is going to be designed in order to help create that awareness that you're going to need when you're monitoring your feelings. And that's always a connection to what you're going to do with your actions. And that's actually one of the things that I spoke about when I did the mind body blueprint Facebook Live in the Facebook group. And it's all aligned. I was thinking about y'all when I did it. So just having that, awareness of your emotions is going to dictate how you are going to go with any of the things that you decide to do, whether it's eating, it's exercising, chilling, having more thoughts because, they don't ever stop. It's just consistently, going on. So when you said that you slipped a couple of times, elaborate on that.
That would have been like my food choices. So I had, there were times that I felt like, well, I wanted to have this and I didn't feel like depriving myself of having it. So I was like, I'm gonna eat it.
So I'm glad that you mentioned that too, because there are times when we actually go through that. So what we experience here are 14 days. We have 14 days in this boot camp, and one of the things that with this boot camp, it is restricted because it's helping you bring an awareness of how your body actually reacts to certain foods and how you actually react to certain foods energetically, mentally, and emotionally. So it's not really just all about the physical. And when you decide that you don't want to deprive yourself of something that you want, if you find that balance, then it's going to help you, because then if you just say, okay, you said that you slipped, but then you got back on track, and not even looking at it, in a negative, because if you decide that you're going to have it, you better enjoy it, because realistically, that's energy. That's energy that you're putting into the food. That's energy that you are actually putting back into your body. And if you have that negative spin on it, it's going to have a negative effect on your body. That's scientifically proven. So you can definitely actually research that. So, when I emphasize, like, if you decide that you're going to have something to eat that's not on the list, and that isn't going to be something with your weight, help you achieve your weight loss goals, it would be even more detrimental if you actually had that guilty feeling associated with it. So anytime that you feel that you're going to slip, make sure it's just positive that you're actually eating. Don't eat it and say, I know this is not good for me, because it's going to have more of a negative reaction, and that's energy. So I'm glad you actually mentioned that in regards to slipping.
Oh yeah, it was nothing negative. I enjoyed every bit. Nom, 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 nom.
Well, I'm going to tell you from my perspective. So I work really hard, and like Lisa, I have slipped, but when I slip, I do feel bad. And not only do I feel bad because I slip, but what I'm noticing is it even makes me feel bad, because I've been trying to eat clean for so long. And so when I go and slip, I feel bad for slipping, and then I start feeling bad because I can feel that I put junk back in my body, and I feel the impact of that. And then, but here's the crazy thing, and I know this: once I do that, then guess what? Then I crave it even more. Then it makes me feel even worse, even more. And I think that's one of the hardest challenge that I have to overcome is to I'll do good, say 5 whole days. And I said, well, I can just cheat. I can cheat one day, I can cheat. But for me, the cheating triggers too much. Because I feel bad when I cheat, but then I feel bad after I cheat because it doesn't feel good. But then again, then it triggers that I want more. That's one of the biggest things that I'm dealing with.
Well, I'm glad were actually, saying that, because there are so many women, and, even the ones that'll be listening to the replay, that actually go through that. So one, when you realize that, okay, the fact that you're cheating is already putting it in a negative context. So when you cheat, no, just say, I'm treating myself, if that's what it is. It's not going to be something, because you're cheating on who? So right there, it's just like, I want it, but you're not even going to enjoy it because of the mental play that you've already put on yourself. So give yourself an opportunity. If you want to treat yourself to it, go ahead. You can incorporate the foods that you actually like into your nutrition intake. It's not like it cannot be, totally obsolete, unless it is something that is really negatively impacting your body. So for example, for me, I know that I can't eat meat. So I used to eat meat all the time, and I enjoyed it, but it was negatively impacting my body. So I had to cut it out. So if the food that you're eating is having an impact on your body like that, then is something that you definitely need to consider. But if this is coming from all the energy that you're putting into it because you're eating it and you're calling this a cheat meal, then you have to be able to reframe it and say, I'm treating myself because if you deserve it. Other thing that you can do is you can look at that same meal and say, you know what? I know there's some things that's in here that's really not going to be good for me. Then switch out the ingredient for something else, which is something that I could help you with. Because you know, we don't have to give up our favorite foods. All we have to do is switch out the ingredients for something that is a better choice, that is going to actually, you know, heal our body while we actually enjoy it. So that is always an option. But yeah, first thing that we got to do is that we're not cheating, we're treating. And that can happen once in a blue moon. And if you realize also that it's going to trigger you to where you can't stop, then that means that you need to go for a detox longer than the 14 days. So until you are ready to go be, you know, and incorporate that back into your nutritional intake, and then you don't have to worry about the cravings, which is a process. So that's why we actually, you know, work on with the 14-day boot camp, as well as the 8-week and 4-month programs, that we put in the mind shifting piece consistently, because it's always a work in progress. Like what we're doing with these past 2 weeks, that was, you know, to get things done, you know, help reset. You know, we might drop a few pounds along the way, but it's really designed in order to help us, one, get an awareness of like really where we are right now and what changes that we can continue to make, because we really have to take these small steps. It's just that what we do in these 2 weeks is really intense. So from what I'm hearing from you is that we just need to just make it longer, and then just try to incorporate the changes so that you can continue to be successful. So for example, when and we can talk about this, because one of the things, and you'll talk about it later, because one of the things that I would like to do with everybody is to do a one-on-one, so that we can have something that's more personalized, so that you can actually do, you know, that and still work on your goals. And it's not to say that you can't follow the 14-day program, because you can make that even longer. And we can work with that program in order for you to still meet success. Because right now, my 8-week program is going to be closed until, what is it, probably sometime in August, maybe September. But we can still work with the 2-week program, so that you can get benefits from there too, and still continue to build those habits. Anything that you are thinking about based on what I've said?
No, I agree with you in terms of extending the time, maybe give you some time to, you know, I won't say make mistakes, but time to pick back up and catch back up, you know. So.
And that's the other thing. I'm glad you said to make mistakes, because we are going to make mistakes. And that's where the thing is, like, it's not perfect, but if we keep progressing, then that's what the 8-week program that I had just finished in June, it gave the women who took it then time to make mistakes. But that's why I'm here, because when those mistakes happen, or you're faced with some challenges where I'm doing everything right, but you know, this is not working, that's why I'm here, so that we can look and make the adjustments, so you know what else you can do and how you can continue to move forward, because it's gonna happen. You know, mistakes are gonna happen. You know, you in the process of losing weight, you might gain some weight back, but all of that is letting you know, depending on what is happening with your body, how your body is taking what you're putting into it, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, how you take all that in, and how it actually works with the healing process for you, which is why everyone is different. So even though like we still have this, everybody's doing this program, it's still personalized because of what it is that you're, you know, doing and going through, and how your body is actually healing. So I'm glad you said that. Anybody, you want to chime back in? You look like you might want to say something.
I think Lisa want to say something.
Oh, what I want to say.
You got that look.
I was like,
Who I
you
was talking to, because I'm
you
like,
was
she looked
talking
like she
about
wanted
me.
to say something.
I was
Yeah,
just like, I said, yeah, I was just agreeing. I was like, yeah, that was just me agreeing. Be like, yep. said, you know, taking that longer program and taking the time to make mistakes is good because we got to just learn from those mistakes and see how the choices we make is going to help to benefit. That was it. I was just agreeing.
Oh, okay. Well, for the other ladies, I hope, you know, they get a chance to watch our video and to see the discussion that we've had. But this coming week, so you'll get an email tomorrow, and this coming week, we'll see exactly what's a good time for me to actually meet one-on-one to see what it is that you can do and continue to build healthy habits and really address the concerns. And I know, Tony, you were talking about, you know, your sleeping, and we can definitely talk about that. And being able to understand more about sleep versus rest, which is something that I talked about last week too. So we can help prepare you with that and understanding, you know, the type of rest that you might need that will help you get better sleep. So other than that, you need to make sure that y'all are celebrating yourselves, because even though this is the last coach call that we're having as a group, you have made some accomplishments. You've been going 5 days strong, and you go and have your treat meal and then continuing on. And the whole thing is that between the both of y'all had more awareness than from when you started.
Yep.
Which is key, because then it's going to let you know what direction you're going to keep going. And if you didn't get a chance to see my Feel Good Friday Live, I'm going to tag the both of y'all in there so that you can see it, because it does talk also about the mind-body connection. And I did give some things for you to reflect on as well. And that would be something good to see, to watch, especially before we meet, because then you can have a little bit more insight as far as how our discussion is going to go, so that you can keep winning.
Yes, thank you.
So other than that, I'm going to stop our recording.